first round of severe weather has gone to our east, yet we have more storms showing up to our west. Complete details coming up in weather.
Our weather team coverage will take a look at the effects of all that wind and water. Hear how changes in NOPD's arrest policies may already be saving New Orleans taxpayers millions.
Saints fans might recognize this space. This is the old High Tops bar in its current state. I'm Jennifer Hale. Coming up next on Fox 8 News, an exclusive look at what High Tops will look like in its new life. Fox 8 News at 10 starts now.
Live in HD with Lee Zurich and Kim Holden. Chief meteorologist Bob Webb. And sports with John Henry Smith. This is WVUE-TV New Orleans, Fox 8 News at 10.
Heavy rainfall spread over the New Orleans area tonight and across southeastern Louisiana, causing street flooding from Kenner to the West Bank. Strong winds also brought the possibility of even tornadoes possibly in that, and there were quarter-sized hail incidents reported. One Fox 8 viewer even captured a lightning strike as he was driving in Laplace tonight. Good evening and welcome back. I'm John Snell. Reports of wind damage are coming in from several parishes tonight.
It looks like the worst of it is on the West Bank, but first we want to go straight to Bob Breck with the latest on a new tornado watch, which was just issued.
Well, that's right, guys. You know, we're not done with the weather tonight. In fact, it's going to be one of those nights where we're going to man the weather office until daybreak. And this, again, was the old watch box. Notice I have 5 a.m. up there. Well, let me put this into motion. You'll see the new watch box, and we'll see if the old one comes off. This yellow box back here is a severe thunderstorm watch box till 4 a.m., but that doesn't include our viewing area, so, you know, let's not focus on that. This is the new watch. Right here till 5 a.m. and you can see it's pretty much the same as the old watch, even though it doesn't include the coastal locations down here. What their wording says is in or close to the watch box. So I would say this includes all of the Fox 8 viewing area. You're going to have to keep up on the weather overnight and during the day tomorrow. Now, what is causing all of this? Well, let me show you our Viper radar, because this is a warm front coming out of the Gulf. Here's the round of severe weather that moved on through earlier. Here's the new stuff that's going to come later on tonight. So we have a little gap in between. And most of the action, the heaviest stuff, has now moved off the coast, but here comes stuff moving up. Have some stuff on the North Shore. You can see how that's going. We also have some stuff down on the South Shore, but none of that is anywhere near as serious as what we had earlier. Now, we did have some reports of wind damage, and in fact, this is where all the storm reports along this arc. And in fact, the heaviest, it started out to the west, where we had reports of some tornado damage, also some damage down around the Belchase area, and we'll try and capture all of that later on when we come back with our rainfall totals in a few minutes.
All right, but at this point, it looks like, Bob, it could be past us by morning drive.
It's going to be close. I think morning drive is going to be a mess. Going to have to get up early and allow yourself some extra time to get on into work.
All right, well, we'll see you in just a few minutes, Bob. Thanks.
Plaquemines Parish officials are telling us tonight that Belchase saw the worst of the damage there.
Neighbors believe a possible tornado touched down in the area, and Bagat Shaban joins us live from Belchase now with the latest.
Well, guys, we're in an area that hasn't, according to sheriff's deputies, seen any home flooding, although we did see a business just down the road here on Highway 23. But this is some of the worst wind damage we're seeing. We're here at 103 Avenue A, just off of West Bank Expressway. And I don't know if you can tell with some of the lighting here, but this wall is actually slanted off the foundation, separated from the rest of the building. This door right here was actually blown off as a result of whatever came through here. Sheriff's deputies actually just put it back up, but the whole building is leaning right now. Part of the roof and the ceiling are torn off, and there are actually 5 people inside who are hiding in the closet for safety. Fortunately, they're okay. We spoke to the property owner just a few minutes ago.
One of my tenants called right in the middle of the hail and the wind and the rain, and she said that they were in the building, that this door was blown completely off the building, and that she said that she felt the pressure. Her ears were popping from the pressure, so obviously it was a low pressure that went through.
The office building that had its front wall partially detached is just that way, but right here's another business that had some severe damage. It's a fabrication company that makes marble and granite slabs for kitchens, and this is what the owner found: marble thrown to the ground, broken into several pieces. The owner says they'll have to completely replace all this. And then when you walk out here, we'll start to enter the backyard of a home, which The fence right now is almost to the ground. There's some jagged nails that sort of line this area now. And we're in the backyard of this man's home. He's actually still trying to find his cat. He says his red truck actually was thrown forward as a result of the storm. And then if you keep walking here, this fence was totally put to the ground as a result of whatever came through here. And then just around this way is actually some of the worst damage we've seen here in Belchase. It's a building that was taken to the ground. You have the cinder blocks literally ripped off its foundation. This is a building that's been here for some 60 or 70 years, now gone. It was the storage portion of the building for a travel agency. Fortunately, no one was inside.
This building's been here forever. I mean, it lasted through Katrina. I think this building might be 60 or 70 years old. And to see it like this is just unbelievable. It had to be a tornado. There's no way wind blew this down. So I got my hands full tomorrow for sure. Clean up.
And back out here live, you're taking a look at that initial fence we crossed over to get to the backyard. To the left is that granite countertop business we showed you just a few moments ago. And then I'm right here next to the initial building we showed you that this front part is now leaning as a result of the high winds we got here. So this is some of the worst damage we're seeing here in Belchase. Again, no reports of any flooding in homes, but wind damage is clearly the threat here in Belchase. But no reports, John, of any injuries.
All right, thanks, Miguel.
And in the meantime, high winds caused a lot of damage also elsewhere on the West Bank, forcing deputies to close a portion of Manhattan Boulevard. Natasha Robin is there.
Well, John, Manhattan Boulevard is still a very big mess, and it is very dark around here. We've been saying 18,000 customers without power, the majority of them on the West Bank. We are now being told that Entergy isn't expected to be able to restore that power until about 3:30 in the morning, maybe a little bit later because of the amount of debris here. Manhattan Boulevard, as you said, closed off to traffic. It was underwater a couple of hours ago. Power lines along Manhattan from Gretna Boulevard to Lapelco are all bent over. Some of them snapped. Windows were blown out on some of the stores around here. And at the height of the storm, there was a gas leak at Walmart and Sam's Club. The businesses had to be evacuated. We're told there's also a water main break in the 2000 block of Manhattan. And there was a church that was struck by lightning tonight on Lapelco, and it caught fire. It's the Church of God, West Bank Cathedral. We understand it is still burning tonight. And even with all of this happening on the West Bank, there's more rain on the way. As you heard Bob earlier, Sheriff Newell Norman says people on the West Bank need to be prepared for what's coming.
So we're asking everybody to hunker down and do not go out on the road unless you absolutely, positively have to. Because traffic is impeding the progress that we're trying to make and getting this mess cleaned up.
The sheriff's office right now out and about assessing the damage. A few minutes ago, we saw some deputies pass on four-wheelers down Manhattan Boulevard, maybe even going into some of the neighborhoods to see what's going on. Right now, it isn't raining and the wind has died down. The sheriff earlier told me that if folks feel safe, if they can go out now before that next round of rain comes through and clear out the debris in front of their storm drains, he believes that will help also pick up any lawn chairs or anything that may be out in the yard that could be flying around later when we get heavy winds. He would like people to do that, but he says in the meantime, you do want to hunker down and stay off of the roads. Manhattan Boulevard still closed tonight. Back to you.
Yeah, that's really good advice, Natasha. Just go out there and get those missiles from your backyard right now because they will fly around. All right, thanks.
We do have a report of a possible tornado touching down in St. Bernard Parish. Officials say a possible tornado hit in Delacroix around 9 o'clock tonight. They say it severely damaged the old Delacroix coastal complex and overturned a nearby camper. Officials say most of the area is without electricity. We do know more than 13,000 Entergy customers in the New Orleans area are without power tonight. 10,000 of those customers are on the West Bank. An Entergy spokesperson says a number of utility poles are down on that side of the river, as you saw in the pictures from Natasha's live shot. He says once the crews finish assessing the damage, they will have a better idea of when power will be restored to neighborhoods. Listen to that. That's the sound of hail pounding on a car that was driving on Interstate 10 in La Place this evening. The viewer that sent the video to Fox 8 said the hailstorm was vicious. Take a look at this other picture. Another viewer sent this in of hail that fell in Belchase tonight. As you can see, so much hail collected in the garden. It almost looks like snow.
It does look like snow, and we'll have much more coming up from Bob. His thoughts on the threat that remains, what the drive-in might be like, coming up a bit later. In the meantime, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned a ruling that would have granted an exonerated death row inmate $14 million. In 1987, John Thompson was convicted on robbery and murder charges. A prosecutor in then District Attorney Harry Connick's office later admitted to withholding evidence against Thompson in the robbery case. Following the murder conviction, Thompson was sentenced to death, but both cases were overturned. That's when Thompson filed suit. A federal judge awarded him $14 million. The DA's office then appealed.
The judgment that was overturned this morning threatened to effectively shut down the DA's office and set back many meaningful reforms implemented in our criminal justice system over the past 2 years.
I'm here to tell y'all that there's a lot of more innocent men still behind prison because of the same group of people. We didn't hear yet one time from this district attorney or no district attorney or what they're gonna do about just what's going on.
Thompson says he should be compensated for almost being put to death.
One defense attorney calls the High Court's decision a travesty of justice with serious implications. Former DA Harry Connick says while he's happy with today's ruling, he's not happy with the way the Thompson case ultimately turned out.
We shouldn't have withheld that evidence, but that had nothing to do, per se, with the murder. And he to me, should still be there.
So he should still be in jail?
Yeah, a lot of people get out of the penitentiary on technicalities, and they get out and they seem to think that, look, I was innocent.
So it's more likely now that an innocent person will spend time in Angola, if not his whole life, because there's no penalty for cheating by the DA's office now. I mean, this was a ruling that was written by Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas was supposed to be taking the place of Thurgood Marshall. I'm sure right now that Justice Marshall is, if not turning in his grave, tossing and turning, spinning, if not doing backflips.
John Thompson now runs an organization in New Orleans that helps exonerated inmates.
Changes in NOPD arrest policies may have saved the city nearly $2 million in jail fees this year. According to our investigative partners at The Lens, the city anticipated it would pay Sheriff Marlon Gusman $22 a day for 2,000 prisoners a day. But CAO, or the assistant CAO, Cary Grant, says that an average, instead of 2,000, 1,700 prisoners were housed on average during the first 3 months of 2011. Grant attributes the reduction to a December council vote to issue court summonses instead of arresting people for various minor crimes. You can find more on the story at thelensnola.org.
After Katrina battered it, even closed it down, the Hyatt Hotel makes a comeback ahead of its grand opening. We're going to take you on an exclusive tour coming up.
Also, reports of wind damage are coming in from across the area. Bob Breck updates the severe weather that is hopefully pushed through. We'll find out his thoughts up next.
How is it that folks will travel halfway across the world to see a famous church or painting, but so often ignore the seminal monuments in their own hometown?
Chris Rose talks about hometown tourism, or the lack of it, tomorrow on Fox 8 News at 10.
For years now, I've been telling you that Crown is the sportsman's headquarters, and their people really know trucks. Take it from me, they'll put you in the right truck to meet your needs, not just for hunting and fishing, but even for work. Now's the perfect time to come in during GMC Truck Month, where you'll get 0% financing for 72 months on 2011 GMC Sierra pickups. And they have over 50 to choose from. 0% financing will mean big savings for you on the great GMC trucks from Crown.
The cinder block, one of the most dependable, strongest, and ugliest construction materials ever made. When Tim Clark Construction elevates your home, we use these beautiful split-base blocks with a stone-like texture because we know how your home ends up looking is just as important as how we go about raising it. So act now. We'll not only elevate your home for free, we'll make it a thing of beauty, too. Tim Clark Construction, your local elevation experts.
Can you imagine if they started making shorter rulers? Or made shoe sizes smaller? Or saved money by turning big screens into little screens? Or reduced a half-gallon of ice cream by as much as a pint? So don't be a pint short of a half gallon. Take home all you pay for. Bluebell wouldn't have it any other way. Homemade in the Shade combines our famous homemade vanilla with a rich chocolate swirl. Yummy.
Spudley Super Spuds. It's the crossroads of taste and fun. Take that money you would normally spend on fast food and put it toward a healthy, delicious meal at Spudley Super Spuds. Choose your favorite toppings. Beef it up. The Pizza Spud. The Invincible Veggie. The Crawfish Spud. The Spudley Super Spud menu has something for everyone, including the kids.
It's yummy.
So make your way over to Spudley's, 2609 Harvard in Metairie.
Spring temperatures bring the threat of violent weather. No one knows Southeast Louisiana weather better than Bob Breck and the Fox 8 weather team. When the weather turns violent, Fox 8 is here to keep you safe. Day or night, the Fox 8 weather team is your weather authority. You're watching Fox 8 News.
Crews are just months away from finishing the newly redeveloped Hyatt Hotel downtown.
Management could have restored the Hyatt to its pre-Katrina state for about $70 million. Instead, the signature site is getting a $275 million redevelopment. Tonight, Jennifer Hale takes us on an exclusive tour.
It's Hurricane Katrina's final major footprint on downtown New Orleans. In the next few months, the Hyatt Hotel will begin its new life. First thing guests will notice, a reversed entrance with no more tunnel-like feel.
Here, what we have is our porte cochere. And we have a sense of arrival coming off Loyola here, and it goes all the way out to Loyola here.
The Hyatt's general manager, Michael Smith, says once finished, the hotel's new front door will be the best in the city.
We go from being bricks and mortar to marble and water features. The entire front of the building gives us a modern, contemporary look because it's all glass.
The Hyatt has been out of the game for more than 5 years, shuttered since Katrina. But Smith says the hotel has carefully planned to capitalize on the $6 billion of new economic development at its doorstep. The CBD's condo boom, the blossoming medical district a block and a half away, that new streetcar line running in front of the Hyatt's lobby. Smith says the Hyatt is also timing its grand opening with some lucrative events coming to town.
Roughly 2 months after we open, we go from having a Sugar Bowl, a week later, the BCS Championship game, 2 months later, the SEC basketball tournament, 3 weeks later, the men's Final Four.
There is one particular prize in the world of sporting events Smith wants the Hyatt to reclaim.
We've been the headquarters hotel for every Super Bowl in New Orleans with the exception of the first one. We weren't open yet.
Super Bowl reps have already been on tours like this one, checking out the new 7,800 square foot restaurant right off the lobby that will look like this once it's done.
And we're in discussions now to attract a celebrity chef. This is the window wall that was damaged.
One floor up in the atrium, another 650 seats for drinkers and diners in a second restaurant, plus a lounge and bar. The New Orleans Hyatt dates back to 1975. The hotel had a front row seat for New Orleans' worst natural disaster.
All 50,000 people who evacuated from the Superdome during Katrina came through this second floor, through the Hyatt.
Now this area will be home to 200,000 square feet of meeting space. Smith says that's double the capacity any other hotel in the city can offer.
So this is the economic engine for the hotel.
It's that much of a game changer.
It's that much of a game changer because nobody can physically come back and match it.
There's plenty for locals here too.
Saints fans might recognize this space. This is the old High Tops. In its new life, it's going to be a media bar, complete with 27 televisions, an exhibition kitchen, and a seafood bar. The name is yet to be announced, but we can give you a hint. It's going to have something to do with New Orleans history.
Upstairs, many of the 1,200 guest rooms boast an inspirational view for the black and gold faithful.
This is great because, you know, Champion Square is our backyard. The Superdome panoramic view.
The Hyatt will also sport 95 suites, which bring the number of hotel rooms in New Orleans back up to pre-Katrina capacity.
So this is what the good stuff comes in.
Then there's the Hyatt's signature grand ballroom.
You'll be hard-pressed to find a finer ballroom, not only in New Orleans, but I'm saying in the South of the United States, this ballroom. 25,000 square feet, 21-foot ceilings, unbelievable chandeliers, carpet, fine appointments, glass front. It opens out to where we're standing right now, which is a patio.
Back inside, a curving grand staircase topped with 3-foot-tall hurricane lamps set into the wall will connect the ballroom with the lobby below.
This is the classic example of repositioning and redevelopment.
That's a theory about to be put to the test. The Hyatt plans to start taking reservations in the next month or so and reopen for business in fall of 2011. I'm Jennifer Hale. Back to you.
All right, a lot to look forward to. The new Hyatt will also have a Starbucks and a 24-hour fresh market that Smith says he hopes will appeal to customers as well as nearby residents.
Now, your most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Breck.
Began with an active afternoon. Our first reports of severe weather out to our west around Garyville and Reserve, where some wind damage was reported. And this band of heavy rain and hail marched across the city, and it was down on the West Bank. That's where the worst activity happened. Manhattan Boulevard, as you've seen our reports indicating where all the damage was. And that's, you can read the screen here, where from Manhattan, major roof damage to, I understand, one of the stores over there. So all of that activity, as if we need more, no, we don't. But unfortunately, we have a new tornado watch until 5 a.m. This is it right here. And you can see it includes most of Metro. It includes the coast, too. We're all under this watch until later on in the morning hours. We're going to have to stay with you all night on this. Let's go to Viper Radar and show you that we already have some warnings on here. So we'll go right to the warning, the new warning areas on the North Shore for this cell right here. And this is moving straight across. It's going to go across northern Tangipahoa and head on into Washington Parish. We're looking at a Viper tornado index, which is much lower than earlier, 2.8. We had, when that cell went over Manhattan and did the damage down there, it was up to 8.8. But this, again, has another hail core. So there could be some nasty weather with that. So keep abreast on the North Shore as this moves across during the next hour. We do have other stuff that's developing down along the coast. Most of the bad weather passed by us. This is the bad cell that caused the damage. That's out of here. But look what's forming farther out to the west. Here comes another surge of moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico. None of this looks severe at this time. Now, that doesn't mean that things won't change within the next couple of hours, and that's why Fox 8 will be with you all night, staying up on the air with hourly updates just in case some of these storms go nuts and we start getting bad weather once again. Most of St. Tammany on into Mississippi escaped this first bout of weather. Over towards Independence, Miss Gracie called with 2.5 inches of rain. South Shore, not, in fact, the total's pretty meager. Some spots did get some heavy storms farther west of the airport in Kenner, but these are all of our observers, and I think you get the idea here. We had a good soaking, over 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, and a lot of that came down in less than an hour, and that's why you had some local flooding problems. Now, we have a cold front coming. We're in the warm air sector tonight. Can you see where the front is back here west of the Houston area? Let me put on the wind directions. North winds back here, generally east-southeast winds here. We've got to get this by us and get into the colder air, and that's when things will start to change for us, and we hope. Here's the timing on this. This begins tonight. One area of thunderstorms went by us. And again, about 3 a.m., here's this next line that's over western Louisiana, comes across ahead of the front. Most of that should be by 7 a.m. So in that 3 to 7 a.m. time frame, we could have another 2 to 3 inches of rain. That's why the rush hour could be a tough one tomorrow morning. And then the action settles down so that afternoon hours, things dry out. We get cooler, we get drier. Thursday looks much nicer. And we can relax again as we have a nice stretch of weather coming after that. So we've got to get there first. So tonight, tornado watch till 5 a.m., the new one. More showers and thunderstorms with heavy rainfall possible. It's going to be a warm, muggy night with the south winds. Tomorrow, leftover morning showers should be all gone before noon. I think we might even see some afternoon sun. And with temperatures a little cooler, because it'll be less humid, it'll feel better. Thursday, kind of chilly. Nights 55, North Shore might see some 40s. And then look at this weekend. It warms up nicely. It's a beautiful weekend. We just got to get through tonight. And again, not here to scare anybody. You just want you to be aware of what's happening as you go to sleep here. If you got your weather radio, it goes off. Just remember, you can always go to Fox 8. You see the winds that next couple of days are going to be a little bit breezy. You get that updated weather phone forecast at 833-0000. And again, most people escape the first round with no damage, and that's probably what's going to happen with this next round. It may come on through, not be so bad, but just in case, we'll have hourly updates.
Yeah. You know, we don't talk about this much here because we don't have tornado threats, but I guess the rule is, you know, you don't have garage or basements to go
Can't
to.
go to the basement.
So if you have an interior room that doesn't have windows, that's, I guess, the safe place to go if you're ever in the future in a situation.
As they say, if you hear that loud noise and you have a couple of seconds, you first off just get on the floor for one thing, and then you need something to protect yourself from debris. Usually jumping in the bathtub is a good one. If you got kids, put them in there, cover them up with pillows, that kind of stuff.
And we're not saying that's
we
going to happen
don't want to frighten. Right now it just looks like we could get more heavy rain and maybe some strong winds.
But you're right, we're not prepared for that at all.
Yeah, you don't think of it.
We really don't.
We're used
we
to
don't
planning
get those
for days
Kansas tornadoes, you know, where they wipe out a whole neighborhood. So thank goodness we don't need that.
All right.
Thanks, Bob. The oyster industry gets a partial win coming up, why oyster harvesters now look to lawmakers for help.
And later in sports, a closer look at the player who must fill the shoes of David West.
Join us on Saturday, April 9th for Tour de Lis, the ride, race, walk, and festival benefiting New Orleans area cancer survivors.
We're walking to honor all those who have fought cancer.
I'm running to celebrate my cousin Josh, who's surviving brain cancer.
I'm riding to remember my grandfather who battled cancer.
Bring the whole family and ride, run, or walk to support everyone you love who's battled cancer. Register now at tourdelis.com. In addition to a free t-shirt, the first 1,000 to register will receive a commemorative From the Time watch. Learn more at tourdelis.com.
If you're looking for a vehicle or outstanding service, you need to visit Tom Benson's Best Chevrolet. Right now, get a $1,000 auto show bonus cash during Truck Month. At Best Chevrolet, we have a huge pre-owned department with program vehicles and late model trade-ins. Best Chevrolet, our name says it all, where service is always open on Saturdays. 2600 Veterans Boulevard or anytime at bestchevrolet.com.
Chevrolet, our name says it all.
From breathtaking showrooms to an endless array of accessories, American Factory Direct Furniture can help decorate your dream home.
We will not be undersold. We promise the lowest prices on designer furniture with our 60-day price guarantee.
Find a better price within 60 days, and the Como family will beat the price.
Come visit one of our 3 showrooms of designer furniture.
American Factory Direct Furniture. All about price, all about design.
Unforgettable events, magical, extraordinary. Royal Palm receptions are a vision of perfection and fabulous views. All of your wedding events are custom designed for you. We offer an unmatched level of sophistication in culinary artistry, raising the bar on the dreams you've always wanted. For events from 25 to 400 guests, contact Royal Palm Restaurant and Banquets in Fountain Park Center, 1901 Manhattan Boulevard.
Audubon Aquarium of the Americas has gone to the birds. Join us at Parakeet Point, where you'll meet, greet, and feed a breathtaking array of beautiful birds. Stroll through a tropical paradise that's home to more than 800 free-flying parakeets. Get up close and personal like never before at Parakeet Point, new at Audubon Aquarium.
You're watching Fox 8 News.
Oyster harvesters want more time between the boat and the refrigerator. The state's oyster task force agreed to push for changes in state law. Right now, federal and state guidelines require raw half-shell oysters be refrigerated within an hour of being harvested. A lot of oyster growers say they don't have room on their boat or the money to buy refrigeration equipment. They want the state to give them 5 hours before they have to refrigerate the oysters.
5 hours harvester refrigeration would still allow people to be able to
produce some oysters for sale.
Task force members expect state lawmakers to agree to the change. However, the federal 1-hour refrigeration rule will still apply for oysters sold outside Louisiana.
The city's not taking the same hit at the gas pump that most drivers are feeling. Despite rising gas prices, Councilwoman Cynthia Hedge-Morell says the city is below projections for fuel expenses. She says the city's contract states that whatever the refinery cost is for fuel, the city pays 7 cents above that. Right now, the councilwoman says the city is paying in the $2 range per gallon.
LSU head coach Paul Maneri talks about his team's recent struggles.
Plus, what Carl Landry says about filling in for David West.
At Lakeside Toyota, we got $1,500 cash back on 2010 Corollas or 2011 Camrys. You get $2,000 cash back or 0% APR financing for 60 months. 20 years running. That's LakesideToyota.com.
At the end of the day, you can't fool people. Nothing sells like the truth. From our fresh pack sauce, to our fresh veggies, to our 100% fresh dough, never frozen. At Papa John's, we believe fresh is better. Nobody does what Papa John's does.
Get a large Works pizza loaded with 7 delicious toppings. Or a Tuscan 6 cheese pizza. Your choice, just $11 each. Order now at papajohns.com.
Everything's better when Papa's in the house. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
I vow to get up as early as you. I vow to haul whatever you can fit in my bed and tow whatever you hitch me to. I vow to be the best Sierra ever.
During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months on the best Sierra ever. Plus now through March 31st, get 1,000 Auto Show bonus cash. See your local GMC dealer.
Regions Quick Deposit lets you deposit checks right from your office. So sitting at your desk is just like going to the bank. See? I'm at the bank. Now I'm at the office. At the bank. In the office. At the bank. In the office.
Fox 8 is your home for the Louisiana Lottery Show. Get the winning numbers every night on Fox 8 at 9:59. Find out if you're a winner. Fox 8, Louisiana's home team, is the official Louisiana Lottery station.
At Lakeside Toyota, we got $1,500 cash back on 2010 Corollas or 2011 Camrys. You get $2,000 cash back or 0% APR financing for 60 months. 20 years running. That's LakesideToyota.com.
You're watching Fox 8 News.
There was a time when Hornets fans were fuming over the trade that sent Marcus Thornton to the Kings in exchange for Carl Landry. But with the season-ending injury to David West, the move now doesn't seem so bad, especially with Landry's production as the playoffs get closer.
Landry got gasoled. It didn't take long for Hornets forward Carl Landry to see what it's like to be David West.
After we played Phoenix, is that, he has some big shoes to fill, and he's a good player, and it's not easy being, the player that he is.
But Landry has filled in admirably. In 2 starts, he's led the team in scoring with 21 points a game and also helped the Hornets take 2 of 3 on their last road trip.
I'm a winner. I'm a player as well. It don't matter where coach puts me, at the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. It doesn't matter. So I just want to go out there and play and help win games.
Hornets head coach Monty Williams loves Landry's production, but says there's still things he needs to adjust to.
He's got to figure some things out quickly. He can score the ball, but at the same time, he may have to give it up some to get some assists if teams are going to double team him the way we've seen lately.
And of course, there's the dilemma with the Hornets' depth, now that Landry is starting instead of coming off the bench.
The problem is not having the guy off the bench do what Carl was doing. That's going to be something we have to figure out on the fly.
Of course, the Hornets play Portland Wednesday night at the arena. A 1-5 start to open up SEC play have some of the LSU Tiger faithful concerned, but not head coach Paul Maneri. Maneri says despite getting swept by Florida and dropping 2 of 3 to Georgia, his confidence in his team has never wavered.
And I have all the confidence in the world that this team is going to continue to work hard. Listen, if they weren't good kids and they weren't working hard, I'd be concerned. But these kids care about the right thing. And we're going to turn this thing around as quickly as we got into it.
And as expected, no game tonight at Turchin Stadium. Tulane and UNO is canceled. The game will be rescheduled at a later date with, of course, the obvious weather.
A drier
issues,
date.
of
Yes.
course.
Speaking of that obvious weather, Bob's here now with an update on what we can expect throughout the rest of the night, and you've got some new information here?
Well, we're not in a lull anymore. The storms have gotten quite active. This one on the North Shore, in fact, this tornado watch goes till 5 a.m. And this storm on the North Shore near Amite has a radar signature of 80-mile-an-hour winds with it. It's headed towards Wilmer and over towards Franklinton during the next, say, 45 minutes or so. So pay attention on the North Shore. And look at these on the South Shore. Lots of lightning breaking out just west of Morgan City. That's heading on up towards Gonzales. Other storms are around the Houma area, south towards Lafitte. We are going to be on the air all night, on every hour. Kim Vaughn taking over at 11 o'clock. Chris Franklin coming on in, and then Dawn Brown to help you get through morning call and the morning drive. We got reports of water in 25 apartments, the 1600 block of Carroll, Sioux, and Terrytown. Possible tornado down in Delacroix. All kinds of damage around the city tonight, and hopefully it won't get worse, but sure does. It looks like it's not over yet.
So if you have that weather radio, you need to make sure it's on and working properly at this point.
And again, we're on every hour all night. May have to interrupt more than that.
All right, well, we'll look for that. Boy, that atmosphere popped back to life, as you said it might.
It didn't take long, did it?
All right, thanks, Bob.
All right, well, that's the news. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you throughout the evening with the weather folks, and then tomorrow morning at 5.
Fox 8 is proudly locally owned.
Wednesday morning on Fox 8 News. We live in a high-tech world. Our tech specialist shows off a plug-and-play system that keeps our personal information safe. And how you can join other NFL fans in a Block the Lockout tailgate party.
The Fox 8 weather team will be warning you in the case of severe weather. Get your forecast on the Fox 8 Morning News from 5 to 9 a.m.
Have you been injured in a car accident or on the job? If so, call the Keating Law Firm. At the Keating Law Firm, we take you through the process step by step, ensuring that you get the personal attention you deserve. If you can't come to our office in Metairie, call us and we'll come to you. 832-2232.
I'm Stan Williams from Professional Auto Engine, where you can have an engine installed for less than the sales tax on a new car. But now we've expanded. We offer a complete line of car care service. Call Professional Auto Engine for all of your car care needs. That's Professional Auto Engine, 464-7481.
Reputation. It's what continues to build the already long list of satisfied customers at Carter & Sons Plumbing and Heating. For nearly half a century, Carter & Sons has served your community by providing prompt service and quality products for all your commercial and residential needs. Carter & Sons Plumbing and Heating. Call us about our free estimates.
Fox 8 is teaming up with local schools to help build better science departments.
Go to fox8live.com and click on the Weather Lab.
Sign up your school for a chance to receive a $300 donation.
And a visit from Chris and Dawn's Weather Lab, where you can help us perform an experiment.
Fox 8 Weather Lab is brought to you by U.S. Agencies. For a better rate on your auto insurance, call U.S. Agencies at 800-958-8545. Visit us online or stop by your neighborhood store today.
So I can put down that little and still get car insurance?
Direct Auto introduces You're in Control. You choose what you put down, when you pay each month, and how you pay. Call, click, or stop by and take control today. Direct Auto will do right by you.
We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
Katie Ash's party. We talked for like 10 minutes.
And he didn't remember you?